everybody, this is Sherry with CPR, Craft, Pray, Repeat, and I'm here today with an image from Imagine That Digistamp called IChihuahua, and I'm going to make sure that I put all of the colors that I use on the screen for you. I normally do 3, but for the brown on the Chihuahua, I did use 4 colors this time, and to help it so that you can remember what colors I'm using, besides you'll see the caps, I do list it several times going across the screen as I continue through the coloring. I hope that makes it a little easier for some of you, because when I know that when I'm watching someone color and I'm like, oh, what color are they using again? I get so frustrated because I can't remember. So I was hoping this would maybe be of some help. If it bothers you and you don't like me putting it on there, please let me know and I won't do it anymore. But if it's helpful, then, I'll try to continue to do it. Also, you'll see the code Sherry15, Sherry in all caps, SHERRY 15. Use that when you go to Imagine That Digistamp, and use that code and you get 15% off your $5 or greater purchase. She just came out with some really cute Chihuahua stamps, and if you like Chihuahuas, you're gonna love these. They're adorable, and there's 2 in the set plus some sentiments. She also came out with some flower set and a bunny and flower set, which you will see later on in the month for me. Later on during the month, I'll be doing more cards with those. Excuse me, guys, I got a frog in my throat. I'm living in Florida and I'm freezing my bazoombas off, man. It is so stinking cold. And Jesse, bless his heart, he come running into my room this morning. Mom, it's snowing, it's snowing. I said, there's snow coming from the sky. Yes, and it's on the ground. And I go out and open the door, freeze again. And I was like, oh, buddy. I said, that's just frost. I said, unless it's falling from the sky, it's just frost. It's not snow. I felt so bad for him because he really wanted to see snow. And I mean, it has been below freezing. So by golly, if I'm going to sit here and freeze to death, the least I could do, the least that could happen is I get a little snow out of it. I mean, all of the plants are already froze. So come on, give me some snow. I'm not going to drive in it, or anything crazy, but I could sit in my house and look through my, my back window and see how pretty it looks, and say, boy, I feel sorry for all them people up north who have to drive in it. Yes, I'll tell you what, you don't want to be down here if it snows or icy, because these people don't know how to drive in weather like this, because they've never had to have snow tires or chains or anything like that. So when it gets icy, woo, you better fear for your life, folks, because these people are crazy. Excuse me. And getting sick again from this weather, and I'm going to be really ticked off if I get pneumonia again, because my chest is already hurt. And we all know I get grumpy when I'm not feeling well. And here I'm just taking my darkest color and going around his little nose, because it would stick out a little further, and so it would create a shadow back on the dog's face. So that's what I'm trying to mimic here by making it darker around his little nose. Now I will tell you, I started to color the other image, and I know a lot of you say, Sherry, you're too hard on yourself. Well, first off, we had no power because it was, it was freezing down here, and the trees were snapping like twigs because of the weight of the ice. So I was trying to color with 2 little lights, little flashlight thingies, so I could color. And it may not have been the best idea. So I'm not sure if you'll see this image that I've got colored for the next one. I may have to go and redo it because he looks a little tiny bit cockeyed. His little tongue sticking out, so I can't tell if he like is begging for mercy, like help me, she made me look crazy, or if this is one drunk chihuahua. I am not sure what's going on, folks, but he ain't looking real spiffy, let me tell you that. And so I'm just gone ahead and I'm putting the darker down because his belly's down, and so that would be a shadow there. Shadow where his arms are in front of his chest and where his head's, you know, in front of his chest. Nothing fancy. I mean, I'm not a fancy colorer. I love doing it. Now you'll see at the top where there are those two little lines which the artist put in to mimic like where his little fur or skin would kind of ruffle or wrinkle. And what I did was to enhance those a little bit, and I brought them down farther. So I like that, in that when I'm finally finished coloring the entire image, they stand out just enough that it looks like, oh wow, you know, that poor little thing does have little fluff rolls. I can so relate to how he feels. I've got more fluff rolls than I care to think about. I hope and pray nobody accentuates mine, though. That would not be a pleasant thing to see. So I just go ahead. Now I do go over him. I think I actually went over him 3, maybe even 4 times, because I just wasn't getting the richness that I wanted. But I knew I wanted that collar family, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, because I don't know collars. You can't see collars real well, but there was something about it that I knew I wanted, and I knew I wasn't getting the deepness, the dark shadows or whatever. So you'll see that I do go over it several times to get what I'm looking for. Now I just switched to my RVs. I do 11, 13, 14, and 17. And I wanted this to be a card I could use kind of for Valentine's Day. So I was wanting to stick with my pinks and my purples. And I loved how the pink and the purple turned out on this one. I was so tickled. I don't know, sometimes I struggle with my purples, but I was really happy with how, you know, this one turned out. And you'll see it here in a minute. I use V12, 15, and 17. And I don't know why I struggle with the purples, but in this card, with this image, I was really tickled. I really was. And so, thanking the good Lord. I don't know why it happened this time, but I'm going, woohoo, hallelujah, it did turn out all right. You know. I'm so glad y'all can't see me. I'm like dancing. Woohoo, woohoo. My kids just look at me and roll their eyes and walk away like, oh golly, mom's at it again. And I think the part of the reason I like the pink is because I did use 4 colors. I was able to get a more cohesive blend, maybe. I don't know, because like I said, I normally only do 3 colors, but I did 4 for his fur and 4 for the headband, and I really like how it turned out. So, and lately I've even been doing a lot of tip to tip, and it's like adding an additional color without having an additional marker, and so I've liked that a lot too lately. So don't be surprised if you see me either doing more tip to tip or adding, you know, an extra set of images in, or an extra set of, you know, an extra marker in. Now here I just finished up with the rest of the little doggy. I was trying to color in smaller areas as well, because it just makes the blending, or at least it seems like to me, it makes the blending much easier. And I'm using the Classic Crest Solar White cardstock for my image. Excuse me, guys. This is, I got this from Altenew, and I don't know, I don't seem to feel like I get the blend on it that I got with the Copic Express It. And I tried this because it was easier for me to get this paper. So I may be going back to the Copic Express It. I'll let you know. I'm going to keep trying. I hate to waste it. It's not, you know, cheap paper. But if I can't get the blend that I like quick enough, because like I said, I did have to go over this several times, even with all of the colors, that I will probably go back to my, you know, my Copic Express It paper. Now here I'm just doing the nose on the little doggy, and for this one I did the E44, 47, and then I added the 49 for the darker, because I didn't want it to be black, but I definitely wanted it to be darker than the rest of the dog. Now here's where I switch to my purples or my violets. I do 12, 15, and 17. And like I said, you know, I don't understand. I'm really thinking the difference is the paper, because I struggle sometimes blending these purples, and yet they blended really well here. And I didn't have the need to go over them as many times as I did the dog. And the only thing that's different is the paper. So I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated, because I'm just really kind of confused right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue to try to use this. And if I notice that I have to continue going over and over my image, then I will definitely be switching back. And this paper is like, I think it's like 120-pound paper, so if worst comes to worst, I can always use it as a card base. I hate to, because it's expensive, but I could. Sorry guys, I really hate that I'm coughing all of a sudden, and man, my chest, it hurts. And now you'll see that I went ahead and I colored the inside of my little doggy's ears, the same color that I colored the doggy. But what I'm going to do here shortly after I finish coloring the matte is I'm going to go and get my R20 and 21 out, and I'm going to add some pink on the inside of the ears. I didn't want to do them because I know they're lighter, but some of them are not always that much lighter. I just wanted to add a little more of a pink hue to them. So that was my thinking. I kind of likened it to how if I put blush on the cheeks, you know, that it, you know, gives it a little, you know, makes it look a little perkier and happier and healthier, I guess. So you'll see that I do that with the inside of the ears as well. And so I'm getting just about finished here with the matte, and I really am just like, woohoo, it turned out. Okay. It's a good thing I got an appointment to see the doctor soon, because I have a feeling I'm going to need it. Ah, this sucks. I'm sick of being sick, people. Sick of it. But this was so easy to color, and I enjoyed it. And then I decided that I wanted to jazz it up a little. I had to come up a notch, man. It just you know, plain was not going to be good enough for a Valentine's Day, or what I want to use for a Valentine's Day kind of card. So after I finish doing this, and here's where I put the pink in the ears, then I'm going to go and I'm going to break out some of my pens. And if you hear that jingling, I got house slippers and they got bells on them, and it's driving the kids and the cat crazy. It's the little things in life that make me happy. I'm driving my kids and the cat crazy. Now on this one, I don't normally do 1/8 inch borders, but I did on this. And apparently I did not record where I took my clear black and white glazed pen, covered the eyes and stuff with that. Then I did my Clear Star Jelly Roll for the matte, and then my white souffle pen for the little hearts on the dog, on the little, you know, little workout part. And here I'm just wiping off the ATG tape, because as long as you take it off quickly, you can pull it off, but if you leave it sit for a while, it's there. Okay, I just wanted to trim this down, and then I remat it. I didn't measure with this card like I normally do. I'm a fanatic about measuring, but for some reason I was just feeling frisky, and I decided to go and just, you know, eyeball it and do it the best that I can. And this is the sentiment that's going to go on the inside, and it just says fit-ish. The art of being almost fit, like almost going to the gym but getting tacos instead. Sorry, every time I laugh I just cough. I think it's funny. So this is the inside of my card, and there's the outside. And I just hope that you guys like it and enjoy this as much as I did. I apologize for all the coughing. Alright guys, remember to practice your CPR, craft, pray, repeat. Thanks for visiting me today, guys, and happy crafting. I love you all. Bye.